Are you diving into Kotlin and feeling a bit overwhelmed by constructors? You're not alone. Today, we're going to simplify constructors in Kotlin and help you understand how to create them effectively. I totally get it. Learning a new programming language can be challenging, especially when it comes to understanding how to set up classes and constructors. You're in the right place to get some clarity on this topic. Let's look at the specific question from one of our viewers. They created a class called Person with a constructor that takes 2 parameters. They want to know how to add another constructor that takes just 1 parameter. Sound familiar? Let's break it down together. So what's the deal with constructors in Kotlin? Constructors are special functions that are called when an object is created. They allow you to initialize your class with specific values. Understanding how to create multiple constructors can really enhance your coding skills. And stick around. At the end of this video, I'll share a quick tip on how to effectively manage constructors in your Kotlin projects. To add a secondary constructor in Kotlin, the user can define it within the same class. This constructor will take 1 parameter, for example, a name. In this example, the user creates a secondary constructor that takes just 1 parameter, name. It calls the primary constructor with a default value for surname. The user can also add additional logic inside the secondary constructor if needed. This allows for more flexibility when creating instances of the class. Finally, the user can create instances of the person class using either the primary or the secondary constructor, depending on their needs. Fun fact, did you know that Kotlin was designed to be fully interoperable with Java? This means you can easily use Kotlin alongside your existing Java code. Pretty cool, right? Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. This user suggests creating a secondary constructor in Kotlin that takes 1 parameter. They explain that this constructor must delegate to the primary constructor using the this keyword. In their example, the secondary constructor initializes the surname with an empty string. Alternatively, the user mentions that if you want to allow null values, you can define the surname parameter as nullable. This way, you can delegate to the primary constructor with this name null. That wraps up that answer. Let's move on to another one. This user suggests creating a secondary constructor in Kotlin using the constructor keyword. They provide an example where a secondary constructor takes an integer parameter. They also mention an important rule. If a class has a primary constructor, each secondary constructor must delegate to it. This can be done using the this keyword. Let's move forward and look at another answer. This user suggests using secondary constructors in Kotlin. They explain that secondary constructors are prefixed with the keyword constructor. Each secondary constructor must delegate to the primary constructor, either directly or through another secondary constructor using the this keyword. Now let's see a response from a different user. This user provides an alternative way to create a secondary constructor in Kotlin. They show that you can define a secondary constructor that takes 1 parameter, which then calls the primary constructor using the this keyword. Remember, the secondary constructor must reference the primary constructor and its parameters using the this keyword. That's all on that answer. Let's take a look at another one. An alternative approach suggested by a user involves using the internal keyword to create multiple constructors within a single class. They provided an example with the auth model class, which includes 1 constructor that takes a code parameter and another default constructor. Here's that quick tip I promised. Always think about how many constructors you really need. Too many can complicate your code, but having the right ones can make your classes much more flexible. And there you have it. You now know how to create multiple constructors in Kotlin. Keep practicing, and you'll become a pro in no time. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more Kotlin tips and tricks.